All right, all right, all right. Happy Friday. Cheers to you. Hopefully, you guys had a blessed, green, and prosperous Friday morning for you day traders. I do know a lot of people who struggled today, but it just comes back to that one commonality. They don't have a plan, they don't stay consistent, and they don't use risk management. Before I dive in real quick, just do me a favor. Post in the comments where you're tuning in from. I want to know where you're tuning in from because I like to see where we at all over the states, um, and the world. We got some people from New Zealand, some people in South Africa, some people over in Thailand. There's some people in California, down in Texas, and here I am in outside of Hershey, Pennsylvania. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you today was wasn't it was pretty, but it wasn't pretty, right? And I say have to say this: I took two losses today, followed by about three winners, and in the end, I finished the day green, right? But I want to come on here and be more direct with you, right? Trading isn't always about you're winning every single trade. It's really about trading your plan, staying consistent, and using proper risk management, right? And that's what I'm trying to get you at. There's probably 5 or 6 new people. They messaged me. They took advantage of the freebie Friday today. Not freebie Friday, but just a special invite to come and see how we operate. And they plugged in already, so we got a couple new members. And I'm happy to make an impact and help them on their journey, doing the same thing that I'm about to show you with right here. So, with that being said, let's dive in and rock and roll. Let's get this screen rolling so I get my. Here we go. All right, so first chart, right here. I'm going to put a smiley face on the chart, just for clarity. I day trade stock options and I day trade futures. Some people in the room only trade stock options. Some people only trade futures, and that's totally fine. That is totally fine as well. So, what we're about to do is I'm going to share with you why I called the trades out. Real simple pattern. Candles are red. We taking puts if they break down off our pivots, and if they are green, I'm taking calls and they break out on our pivots. So, what happened here today, right? The candles were red right out the gate. Had you have taken this did hit the pivot. We had a huge pivot right here. We call it our mastermind magnet, 6901, right, for ES. We are more bullish above that. We're more bearish below that. So the first trade right here, we ended up taking the shorts. And as you can see, it went from 95 down here to 90. That's 5 points. That's $250. Could you have gotten 100 or $150 of that? Realistically, absolutely, right? So there's one winning trade. Then you can see price comes up here, it turns green. We take a breakout, took this trade right there. There's the stop loss, and guess what happens? Bang! I'm red on the day right now. I'm shaking over here. Just kidding, not shaking. But that's part of trading, I'm gonna share with you the winners, just as I'm gonna share with you the losers, And that one was a losing trade, right? So then the next trade we come down here on our pivot, we take a breakdown right there. That stopped me out at a break even, and then we come down, hit this pivot, took a short right here, and I ended up getting my money back here on ES. But it wasn't pretty, it wasn't pretty. I had to work for it. I had to push through it, and I'm sharing with you exactly what I did, right? Then followed over here, it melts down. You got another breakdown. But my goal is just try to get 1 or 2 winning trades a day for the new folks in the first 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour, right? So a lot of people took this first trade right here, and they were done because they got their green bag. 100 to 200 bucks to a lot of people. You got to think about it like this. That's an extra $500 to $1,000 at the end of the week. What could you do with the extra $500 to $1,000 at the end of the week? You could pay your cell phone bill, groceries, electric bills. It helps out, But you still got to stay disciplined. You got to use risk management, and you have to follow your plan, just like I said. So, with that being said, that was our ES chart, right? Now coming over here to the big bad. I'm gonna make an ugly smiley face for this one. The big bad NQ, right? We've traded that as well. And what happened on that trade was the candles were stuck in between two pivots, and here was a call trade right there. it put up and ended up stopping me out. I'm down right now 610 to 78. That's 30 NQ point loser right there, right? So I'm 0-1 right now in NQ, and I'm back in I'm back in the red, right? I just took a loss on ES and I took a loss on NQ, but that's part of trading, right? And you come into your situation where we hit our pivot right here, we take another breakdown right here, and guess what? 32 down here, that's 30, that's 32 NQ points. Could you have gotten 10 or 20 or 30 NQ points there? Yep. Then over here at 10 o'clock, we get another breakdown, and this is where it solidified my day, and I'm back green, and I'm happy, and I'm like, you know what? It's Friday. I am done trading for the day, right? So that's about a 700, it's about almost $800 winning day for me. But I did take another trade over here where the star's at, and this brings us to our last futures chart, right? Our only qualified setup right there was right here, right at about 10 o'clock. We see our pivot come down here. I was taking a breakdown right there, and I got the short, and I was done with that one. So that's how I got to 770 or 780 after they take their fees. But it wasn't pretty, you know. And I like to come on here and just share with you. Every day is not going to be real pretty, you know. So with that being said, futures was another successful day in the books. Same pattern, same setup over and over and over again. Then we bring it into the option space, right? And we have our huge Mario star right here. Just being funny. We got the star with the circle. And on today, what happened was we're hitting off our pivot right here. And what happened was we're going to take a breakout about right there. A little bit riskier because right out the open. So some people caught this huge push to the upside. Then if you want to be more conservative, you could have waited. You could have taken a pivot break right here to the upside. This would have been your stop out. And bam, there you got another winning trade. So Tesla, right? I should have took a lot more contracts on that. But I ended up only getting about 350 bucks on just two contracts on that trade. So that was a good one, right? Then the last options trade I took, I'm going to bring it over here, and I took a loss on this. I took $650 loss on this trade because at the time, market was pushing up. I saw the Eternals looking good. I took my call breakout right here, and then I ended up getting stopped out right there. And this was a big, fat $600 loss of Bambaroni. So I say all that to say this, right? When you compile your trading plan and you stick to the script and use risk management, right? I made $700, $770 on futures, right? Plus 200 bucks, we'll just say, on Tesla. That right there is almost 1K, right? That's 970, right? And we'll just say 950 after fees. Then I take the $600 loss on this trade. So you just take your 900 minus 6. I ended the day at 300 bucks. And just for the record, my goal is 1K a day. But if you can average $300 a day for a whole year straight, right, with the wins and losses included, guess what? You work for 30 to 45 minutes a day, you just made $100,000. You see how easy and attainable that now becomes in trading, right? So that's a good one. You hear me come on here a lot of times. What's the power of this strategy? Well, this was our target, not our target, but our option strikes, 69.40. And it has a high probability to hit 50 to 100% ROI or more. You take the put probability right here, 68.45. There you have it, right? 68.45 puts, and look what happened. That ended up hitting, if we ran the stats on it, that right there probably pushed about 1,000% ROI. So every 500 bucks will be $5,000 at that point. Every 200 bucks will be $2,000 at that point. Does it always happen? Absolutely not. And I'm not telling you that I would do that, but just giving you the probabilities over time. We have a probability of about 75%, right, to see them kind of returns. You come back to yesterday, it broke this to the upside first. They hit the 50 to 100%, just like that. So that's kind of how we day traded, and that is our day trading recap for today. I'm gonna come up here and put SPY on the chart because it is like it's the ETF of the S&P 500, a lot more affordable and cheaper, so a lot of people can participate in it. And I'm gonna bring up this chart right here. And why I'm gonna bring this chart up, right? I'm gonna put it on right here so that you can see it. And this is how simplified swing trading can be. You have a simplified pattern, green candle, green arrow, green candle, green arrow. And if you get expansion over the next couple days, I'm going to classify it as a winner because that's an easy 20 to 30% ROI, right? If we take a loss, we're losing 20 to 30% ROI, all right? So if you took a swing trade, because you can day trade, maybe you're busy, and that's totally fine. We have some people that can participate in the markets actively. That's totally fine. But if that's you, I'd highly pay attention right here. There's a simple way for you to participate in the markets to push in your favor, right? So check it out. You have a green candle, green arrow, price pushes up over the next couple days. Green candle, green arrow, price pushes up. These little moves right here, they go from 622 up here to 625, 623 up here to 620, what is that, about 6, all but 626. This one, 626, it goes up here to 631. Those are all capable of going 20%, we'll just say 15 to 20% or more, right? Very capable of doing that. So what's our probability look like on this? Here's one winning trade, 1-0. There's 2-0. There's 3-0. Here's a loser, 3-1. Here's 4-1. Here's 5-1. Here's 6-1. Here's 7-1. Here's 8-1. Here's 9-1, 10-1, 11-1. This one up, 11-2, 12-2, 13-2, 14-2. This one went from 681 and it hit a high of what yesterday? 689. So I'm sorry, not 681, 687 up here to 689. That's $2. That right there is your 15-20% ROI, just like that, right? And even if this one was a loss, you could play it out. So instead of being what? 1, 2, 3, 1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, 9, 10, 11-1, 11-2, 12-2, 13-2. We'll just say 13-3. You bring the calculator up. 13 divided by 16. Guess what? That's 81% probability, 81% winning rate. Over here, you see the probability say 86. We're underperforming right now, and we're still green. And what's the goal of taking swing trades? To be green, right? Absolutely. So that's how you can swing trade. I do have some people that they come in and say, well, I don't want to day trade. I don't want to swing trade. I just want to invest because it's super safe. And I buy real estate and I like longer term investments. You know what I'm about to tell them? I'm going to say, well, you're missing a lot of these gains, but check this out. You can still do it, right? And we'll put on, we'll go Bitcoin, GBTC, because everybody knows what Bitcoin is. And we're going to come down here to, the weekly time frame, and we're going to do something just like this. Now I'm going to show you how investing with a plan works, right? You have a buy right here. There's one buy. There's two buy. There's three buy. There's four buys. All right. If you had a measly $1,000 and you bought in all $1,000 right here, right? Your cost average is $13 at 26, right? 26, 100%. At 39, 200%. At 50, 51 or 52, 53, there's 300%. Your 1,000 is worth $4,000 up here, right? But you know what I'm about to tell you? I'm about to tell you to take $1,000, and when it turns into $2,000, sell out, let $1,000 ride, bring $1,000 back to the pot. Then your $1,000 goes up, it turns $2,000 up here, sell out, bring $2,000 back to the pot, and you still got $1,000 in the market for free. All right? You still got $1,000 in the market for free, and this was your first buy right here. Then you get another buy right there, right there, brings your cost average to about 20. At 40 or 50, guess what? Your 2K becomes worth 4K. All right? I'm about to tell you to sell out, bring 3K back. Now we have $4,000 on the side pot. Then markets, and we still got 1,000 in the market. We got 4K in the market right now. Check this out. You get another buy, right? And you put another 1K in. So now you got 2K here, and your average is still a little bit less than that, but we're just going to keep it at 20. At 40, you're now at 4K. Sell out, right? Bring 3 grand back, and now you got 6 grand in the pot. And check it out, at 40, at 60, your $1,000 is worth more up here. There's another 2 grand. Sell out, bring 1K back. Now we got 7 grand. Then it sells off again. We got another buy. So now you put 2 grand into the market. You bring 1 grand back. Now we got $6,000 on the side pot. 2 grand in the market. We start off at $1,000 in the beginning. And now if our average was here and we bought in there, it brings our average up to about 35. At 70, your 2 grand is worth 4 grand. Sell out, bring 3 grand back. You now have $9,000. And then up here, your 1,000 worth 2 grand. Sell out. We now have $10,000, and we got this new opportunity that's about to bless us when we get another buy. So we just turned $1,000 into $11,000. We got $10,000 on the side, and we got $1,000 in Bitcoin right now. Is that smart investing? Absolutely. Right? But some of my friends, they say, well, I just buy and hodl. I'm like, oh, when you say hodl, that like cringes me. You know why? Because you have 1K right here. It goes up to 4K, back to 2K, to 4K, $750, 4K, back to 3K, goes to 5K, 4K, 5K or 6K, back to 4K. So your 1 grand is worth 4K right now. Now, sure, you didn't do nothing for it, but look at all the opportunities. Would you rather have 4K or would you rather have 11K? I'd rather have 11K. And that's smart investing right there, right? And you could say, well, Bitcoin isn't a fair assessment. We don't want to do that. All right, let me show you a different one. Everybody knows AMD. That's a good company, right? You could do the same thing on AMD. Check it out. Here's a buy right here. Here is 2 buys right there. Here's another buy, right? You take your free money, right, and you put 1K in right there, and your average is $100. At $200, your 1K is worth 2K. Sell out, right? You got 1K back on the pot. Price comes back down. Here's a buy. Now you put 2K into the pot. Your average comes up to about 120. Price falls, comes back up. You put another grand in. You have 3K, right? So now you have 3K in the pot because you just put another 1 grand in. So your 8 grand now turns into, or 10 grand now turns into 8. Because we net profited at 1,000 up there. It would have been 7, but now we got 8 on the pot. We bought here, we bought here, we bought there. Average is about 120. Up here at 240, your 3K is worth 6 grand. Sell out, bring 5K back, and now you got 1K riding for free. So now 5K plus 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's $13,000 that you have trading 2 different companies. You see that? And guess what? You keep doing this. And you let the system and AI, Swingmaster Pro AI, give you the buy setups. We sit here and wait for opportunities to tell us to take some buys. Now, it doesn't happen in 1 day or 1 week. Like, look, you're in this trade, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 month, 1, 2, 3, we're in profits, 1, 2, 3. In 2 or 3 months, you went from 96 up to 135. You could take profits there if you want. You don't have to hold for the large profits. We tell people once they go up 5, 10%, you can put an order back at break even because then you're in a risk-free trade. You see how easy that is, right? You could do that. So long story short, I've shown you 2 companies. I could keep doing this for days. I have 40 companies in my retirement account that is all house money. I probably should liquidate a whole bunch of them because I'm in Apple since 110. I'm in Amazon since 121. I'm in AMD since 100. It's at 211 right now. So it's time for me to be taking some profits as well because then I could take those profits and now find 5 or 6 more companies. You get what I'm saying? That's smart investing. Anyway, happy Friday. I could talk about this all day long. I don't want to take too much of your time up. So with that being said, if you want to get plugged in and involved, just comment BMT below. We'll get you squared away and I'll get you rocking and rolling for next week. We got some major things we're going to release in 26. I'm hyped. I'm ready for it. With that being said, you guys have a blessed one. Catch me on the next one. Have faith. Praise of the Most High. Beast mode.